Hi guys. Yeah, just arrived at the Kruger and I changed into a vest because I was dying. Yes, it's hot. I think it's 33 degrees or something right now. I've unloaded my stuff, but I thought before it actually gets dark, because I'm only going to get back here in the evening, let me show you the accommodation. I'm going to flip this around. So I'm staying in a rondavel. This is a two-person accommodation. This is the kitchenette. You'll notice the fridge is behind a cage. That's because of monkeys. So it's monkey-proofed. I've even put my muesli in the fridge. Then my charcoal, my wood. In that box is all my bowls and my cooking stuff, and that's just my portable table. I don't really need it, but I just didn't want to carry it in the car anymore, so I put it out. I'm here for 2 nights. Even the door is like heavy, so monkeys can't pull it off. I'd already locked because I was about to leave. And this is the accommodation. Pretty simple, nothing fancy. Most important thing, aircon. And it works because I walked in here and it was cold. And two-person, like I said, I've already, I don't judge how I pack my luggage. Suitcase out because I was changing. This is the bed. Kruger National Park cribs. Just a shower, simple toilet. It's not 5-star accommodation at all. So yeah, pretty much roughing it. All the sand parks are subsidized by government. So if you're a South African citizen, you actually pay preferential rates at the entrance to enter, and also when you are booking accommodation. Foreigners actually pay a lot more than we do as South Africans. Nothing to write home about. Kruger is all about the animals. Unless you really want something fancy, then stay at the lodges that I used to work at. There are also a lot of private lodges within the Kruger itself. There is the lovely car I've been given for the week. It's actually for 2 weeks. The VW T-Cross. And I bumped into this stupid tree. It's full of thorns, so my arm now is covered in little bumps because of the thorns that went into my arm. Anyway, the next clip you'll see, it will be me showing you the entrance to Satara. Hi guys. I just went and used the hi guys. That's how tired I am. I actually went and used hi guys. Yeah, that's one rand in the kitty. When I started this YouTube channel, I said every time I use the term hi guys, yeah, there has to be some sort of punishment. Anyway, I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. It is now. What's the time? The time right now is 5 to 8. And I've been busy since 4 o'clock this morning. Had to obviously take a shower and then pack the rest of my stuff and then pack the rest of the things in the car. Luckily, I packed my car last night. But yeah, it is still, to wake up at 4 in the morning. And the reason I woke up at 4 was for a few reasons. Joburg from the Kruger Gate is more or less about 6 hour drive, which isn't that bad. Actually, about 5.5, which is not bad at all. But then people tend to not factor in that once you get into the park, the kilometers actually cut down. The speed limit, let me say. So the speed limit within the Kruger Park is 40 kilometers per hour on gravel and 50 kilometers per hour on tar. And that's if you're in a rush. What tends to happen along the side of the road is people are looking at animals. You're also going to see animals that you want to stop and take photos of or observe and enjoy and whatnot. So you don't factor that time in when you work out what time to leave home. So there's a tip. Leave early as possible, because once you get to the gate, there's still time that you need to spend getting to the camp you're staying in. The camp I'm staying in is called Satara. It is a rest camp. The Kruger has, I think, about 15 or 16 different camps within the actual Kruger Park. Kruger is huge. Whenever I say to people I'm staying at a camp in Kruger, they assume that you're talking about a campsite, American style, where there's people around a fire and various tents around it. No. There are different types of camps within the Kruger itself. There are tented camps, but even those tented camps are actually permanent tents. So you stay in actual permanent tents. There's also rustic old school campsites where there's nothing there. But the camp itself has a fence around it. And there you can actually pitch a tent. Then you've got the main rest camps, which is where I'm at right now. Satara, it's got various accommodation within it. There's bungalows, there are huts. The one I'm staying in is a hut. It's a rondavel. Rondavel is the old school. Rondavel, what's a. I forget the vernac term for it, but yeah, it's the old school hut. It's a circular shape. There's a shower to my left. I posted a clip earlier. This is what I took photos of. And then there are also camping sites. Right opposite where I'm staying, there is actually a campsite where people are in caravans. And there are also people in tents as well. I'll be staying in a tent. The very last camp I come to will be back to Satara. And I'll be staying in a camp. I'm in a tent actually when I'm back here in about 5 days' time. I'm staying 2 nights here, and then I'm going 1 night to Letaba. And then from Letaba, I go down to Pretoria Scope. Pretoria Scope is at the southern part of the Kruger, which is also the busiest part of the Kruger. And then I come back north, and I come up to Satara again for 2 nights. I'll be camping for 2 nights. I might extend it. Depends on how the rest of the 5 days go. If I have a good time and I'm actually enjoying being here, I'll add an extra day of camping. Camping sites are easier to get as well because they're cheap, and because not a lot of people like to camp. You have to deal with setting up the bloody tent as well, which I will be recording. Watch this vlog in 4 days' time when I pitch a tent. So not a lot of people like to do that. But having said that, there's people who come with really fancy setups. It's basically a home, a mobile home, the way they set up their campsites. So camping is not for everyone. So if you want to come to the Kruger, and all the main permanent structures are booked out, campsites will most likely be available. And the reason why I'm camping is because I couldn't find accommodation for those 2 days that are in the camps that I wanted. So I decided, I have a tent. Let me just. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also not looking forward to it. I'm doing this thing solo. I'm traveling on my own. So me doing all these things alone, I don't know why I'm trying to be Superman, but a holiday is meant to be about chilling. I mean, today I'm chilling. Even though I woke up at 5, I've got my lovely. It's a goblet, ne? If it is metal. Or is it a goblet if it's got jewels on? I don't know. Anyway, it's not a wine glass because it's not a glass. It's a wine goblet. When you camp, I guess you have to do it the old school way. Everything is metal here. I was in the curio shop earlier. The weirdest things are sold and bought by tourists, eh? And they pay so much money. I don't understand. Anyway, it's good for the economy. It's good for Sandparks. Sandparks is owned by us, South Africans. It's owned by government. And so if you come stay in a Sandparks run facility as a South African citizen, because it's your tax that actually pays for it to be run, you get subsidized. You don't pay as much to enter the park. You don't pay as much for accommodation and certain other things that foreigners and tourists will have to pay. SADC region or community, I guess you can call, also pay a preferential rate compared to foreigners from Europe and other countries. So if you're from the SADC region and if you are South African, do Sandparks. If you're into the luxury side of traveling, then it's not for you. Trust me, it's not for you. If I was to turn this camera around and yeah, I love roughing it. Even though I work in fancy places and I worked in a literally, I would even call it a 7-star hotel. It was more than a 5-star lodge in the middle of the bush. It was beautiful. It was stunning. It's better than some houses I've seen in north of Joburg. Those are the type of lodges I worked in. The Sandpark camps are not about that life. It's literally about roughing it, old school style, and it's about seeing animals more than anything. It's about exploring the wild and the Kruger and enjoying what the animals have to offer mostly. It's not about luxury. It's not about a home away from home. Having said that, this small hut has a kitchen outside, which is where I was chilling. It's got a braai stand. It's got everything that a small house would have or a small cottage at home would have. So it's got everything that you'd need. But just don't expect to be lapping it up in the seat of luxury. That's all I'm saying. If you've never done a Sandparks park. There are tiers to it. I remember I stayed at Addo Elephant Park and they had very beautiful chalets. They had log cabins. So there are various Sandpark lodges and places where you can stay. Just do your research. There are also houses as well, like literal houses that are either owned by a corporate or a wealthy family and they're sponsored. If you go onto the Sandparks page and the different campsites, if you look at the available accommodation, some of them you'll see even have a name of either a family or a trust or a company. Those are the la-di-da places. They're also very la-di-da prices, so you won't be paying cheap money for those. But if you bring a whole family, like 10, 12 people, then that would make sense for me. And those ones have TVs. Speaking of which, I'm regretting. Well, I'm not regretting because I wanted to be here because I'm on holiday. But this Saturday and Sunday are the quarterfinals in the Rugby World Cup. And I cleverly, Mr. Lesego Semenya, did not check the calendar before I booked all of this. So I am in the middle of a place that does not have TVs. The reception is only available at campsites. It's not available outside the camps. I mean, literally, your phones go dead when you're outside the camp, and I'm on two networks. I'm on South Sea and on Vodacom. As soon as I'm about a kilometer away from the camp, they're dead. There's nothing, no network, nothing. Which makes me wonder if you are ever to get stuck in your car, which won't happen because I've got a brand new car. These are some pics that I took earlier. These are some of the images. I was only on the road for 4 hours. I tried to reach the border of the Kruger, which is right next to Mozambique. There's a Transfrontier Park. I don't know if the fence is back up or if it was down. During the Mbeki years, something was agreed, and the fence between the Kruger Park and the park in Mozambique, I forget the name, please forgive me. The fence was going to be brought down. It was going to be a two government park, or two government, but whatever the terms are. And the animals are going to be able to roam free across both sides. But then poaching was happening on a certain side of the border, let me not say which, and it was coming across to the Kruger, and it was messing about some of the animals from the Kruger side. I never followed up what happened with that story. If I'm talking nonsense, let me know. But yeah, just remember there was issues about that. But I was trying to reach that border. Satara, the camp I'm staying in, is about an hour and a half to 2 hours from the border with Mozambique. I just wanted to go there out of interest sake. I wasn't going to cross the border. I just wanted to see what it was about. I've been there before, about 12 years ago. But back then I didn't realize exactly where I was. I just remember it was a beautiful place. It was very high up and you were allowed to get out your vehicle. But that's about all I remember about it. So I wanted to go back. I'm here for 2 nights, so maybe one of the days I will drive back out there when I've got time. Along the way, I spotted a lot of animals: buffalo, wildebeest, nyala, what do they call them? Waterbuck. Actually had earland biltong as well. Whilst I was driving, and I spotted an earland, zebra, giraffe. Actually, name the prey animal, and I probably saw it. So I didn't see any lions or any predators today, which is why I'm staying here in Satara. Satara is known for its there's a famous road. It's called the S101. It's a S road. It's close to Satara, and it's known for all its sightings and all the animals, the predators that are in the area. And that's the reason why I'm spending 2 nights here. I want to spend some time on that road. I might go for evening game drive. Sandparks also does those as well. They're not expensive. I think it's about $350 for a game drive, and it's a 3-hour game drive. They're not loud. If you've ever done a 5-star resort game drive, it's nothing like that. The 5-star resorts is maximum about 8 people in the back of a Land Rover. And there the guides can off-road, and you've got a tracker, and you've got all that. The sand park ones are completely different to that. Yeah, but do it yourself, so you can, if you struggle in spotting animals, if you struggle in looking around without the help of other visitors showing you where the animals are, then I'll suggest for you to try one of the game drives that the sand parks staff offer. They're not perfect. I've been on a few. Yeah. Just do it. Don't listen to me, because my point of view comes from a place where I would come to the Kruger 3 or 4 times a year. And I lived in the Kruger for 2 years, and so I'm very picky when it comes to what I actually do when I'm in the Kruger. It's very tourist orientated, so it's aimed at people who are excited about anything and everything. Like I was saying, the Curio shop has so many trinkets and so many kitsch little. Hi. I'm gonna stop being negative. But yeah, this is the first day. Tomorrow in the morning, the gates open at, they said,
5:30 or 5 o'clock. Um, yeah, so I'll be out of here. The best time to game view, if you're looking for predators, is early in the morning at sunrise, and then in the evening when the sun is setting. Unfortunately, with the gates closing at 6 p.m., you actually have to be back in camp before the sun sets, which is a bummer. They should actually increase that time to about 7 p.m. But yeah, so I had to be back in camp by 6 p.m., and that's when the light is beautiful for images. And you see more animals around that time. The animals are busier, they're more active. And in the morning as well, around dawn, that's when the animals are most active. And it's when you also get the best pictures. If you're looking for predators and if you're looking for animals being busy, photos that tell a story. Instead of animals just standing or animals with their nose up in the tree or down in the grass. And if you're looking for predators specifically, morning and dusk. But yeah, it's the first day. Each day as it goes, I'll explain different things. And I'm meant to be eating dinner right now. I went and got some venison kebabs and venison steak, and I'm just too tired to cook. There's a braai stand outside. I've got the firewood and everything going. I just don't have the energy. And the person who might care about me and who's watching this, please don't judge me. I don't want to be sent a message saying, why didn't you eat? But yeah, first day, Kruger, 7 days to go, or 6 days to go, 5 nights. I hope you enjoyed these vlogs. There will be one every day. Because I'm cutting and pasting and putting everything together quickly, they won't be as neat and as perfect as I'd like them to be. But hey, we're roughing it. We're in the Kruger shop.